I don't know if you've heard, but there's an election coming up in Alabama. And if this were just any Alabama election, the Republican would almost certainly be running away with it. Just look at this map. These are the results of the presidential election here in 2016. Besides a handful of blue counties, most of the state went heavily for Republican Donald Trump. But this isn't just any election. If you're looking at the Trump-Clinton map alone, this thing would be over. And allegations or no allegations, Roy Moore would win. But what if we include some other recent Alabama elections? Before we get started here, it's important to note, this is not a prediction for what's going to happen on December 12th, but it will tell you where the answers could lie on election night. Let's take a look at that Trump-Clinton map again. It's a safe bet that the map will look something like this on Tuesday, with the Black Belt and Jefferson County in blue. Those counties make up about 23% of the state population. And even when they go blue, there are still a lot of Republican votes there. So for a Democrat like Doug Jones to win, he's going to need larger than average margins here. But he's also going to need to win in some other places. That's where some other recent election results prove interesting. Let's start by going back just a few months to September of this year, when Roy Moore beat Luther Strange in the GOP runoff. Strange only won 4 of Alabama's 67 counties. These two are blue in our Trump-Clinton map, so we'll get rid of them. But these other two are interesting. Madison and Shelby have more than 500,000 people combined, and both have been consistently red. But neither has shown they really love Roy Moore. But even if you add these counties to the blue ones, which would be a pretty drastic move on its own, you're still only talking about 34% of the population. Although population is a lot less important than turnout, and the Secretary of State is predicting only around 20 to 25% of people will actually vote. But here's where it gets interesting. There's another recent election that could be very telling. People in this state have elected Roy Moore on more than one occasion. And the last time it happened, Roy Moore almost lost to a Democrat. In 2012, Roy Moore was running for Supreme Court Justice for the second time. His challenger was Democrat Bob Vance. Even though Mitt Romney was on the ballot and did very well in Alabama that year, Roy Moore only won with a 51 to 48% margin. There are several counties where Romney won and Moore actually lost. Some of these counties are tiny and probably won't affect the overall totals enough to sway the election, but others just might. You'll notice Madison shows up again, but also included are Mobile and Tuscaloosa, 2 of the 6 largest counties in the state, one of which is home to a popular Democratic mayor. When you add these to the Clinton and Strange counties, you end up with exactly half of Alabama's population. Now, just because people in these counties went against Roy Moore in 2012 doesn't mean they'll do the same thing in this election. A lot has changed. And just because Strange won Shelby and Madison doesn't mean Moore won't beat Doug Jones there. But if Jones is going to have a chance, these will be the counties to watch. For Reckon, I'm Ramsey Archibald.